We call it when kids are a little different. He's always been a little different in that aspect. He put Damari at receiver, and we threw him the ball, and he's like a gazelle. He jumps up and catches the ball and scores easy, and I was like, well, that proves my point.
One thing about Damari is that he knew where the focus was. He very much had a tunnel vision for where he wanted to go.
Everybody is from somewhere, and for former receiver Damari Jones, Leesburg is home.
Well, where I come from is a low-income place in Leesburg, Florida. It's like west of Orlando. A place with not a lot of opportunities. I feel like a lot of the people that I grew up with, you know, you were kind of forced into becoming like a drug dealer or forced to, like, you know, have all like these struggles and make you an angry person.
Violence is something we saw a lot of, and just people not having enough to, or either, you know, people working very hard just to make it a little bit over, you know, to pay the rent or to keep the lights on, to get food.
Man, I've seen a lot of things. I've seen, you know, kicking someone door in. I've seen, you know, police chase, high-speed chases out here. I've seen someone getting jumped. You know, it's a numerous of things, you know, gunshots.
You know, the environment is hard. You know, I think, you know, society doesn't realize it's hard. You know, people say, you know, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Well, what if you don't have any boots?
We don't really have all the finer things, but we try to make, you know, the most of what we got. I was raised here by my mom, my aunt, and my grandma. All of us stayed in the same household with the support that, you know, not only like my family gave me, but just the community as a whole. I feel like I had a lot of pressure at a very young age. I wanted to do something different, you know, than anybody that was in my hometown.
It was a tough reality, but with a way out, created by a natural ability on the playing field.
I mean, he was just always a freak athlete. I mean, he was always taller, faster, jumped higher.
He was always tall and fast and stuff like that, but his athleticism at a young age, I think in middle school is when he started like dunking.
We were in a big game, getting down to close to the end of the game, and I think there was like 4 seconds left, a bad pass, and he scooped it up and scored, and we won. And at that moment, I knew that, you know, Damari, my goodness, he would be a great receiver. And, you know, Damari's athletic ability was good either on the football field or in basketball. So,
Well, us being a small town, we have small town mindsets. So we ended up winning it, and it was a surreal moment. The whole city was behind our back. We ended up throwing a parade twice.
He kind of carried our basketball team, football team, just at levels. He was like the go-to guy just for athleticism.
So what I did was I gave him one of these fake in, swim move came out, and as I took 2 to 3 steps, I look up, and the ball is just floating in the air. So I snatched the ball. He had his hand on it, I snatched it, grabbed it, and I fell in the end zone.
Jones's athletic ability vaulted him into the national spotlight and landed him a full scholarship at the University of Miami.
Well, my goals was to get on the field and play, because I had everybody back at home, you know, rooting for me. And, you know, coming out of a small town, I was this, you know, big receiver, and I just wanted to prove to Miami that I was that guy.
But despite coming in as a highly touted recruit, Jones struggled to get playing time at the next level.
At the end of spring ball, he was considered to be a starter. But unfortunately, fall camp comes along, and then he gets injured the very first week of fall camp. He's going into fall camp as one of our starting receivers. The injuries just kind of held him back and held him down, and he was never able to fully recover from that.
I felt like I let a lot of people, you know, coaching, you know, all the way into Pop Warner. I feel like I let my family down, my friends. So yeah, sometimes you get angry, you start trying to blame the excuse on other people.
And while Jones felt anger on the field, he found escape on a canvas with a spray can and a paintbrush.
I went to his house and I discovered a sketchbook. And I'm like, Damari, you've been hiding this all along and should probably like start to explore this more.
I had met with my professor Jerry, and he said he's seen something in my stroke that I should hold on to the brush a little bit longer.
And Damari would just come in and show me his pictures, and it's not just on his small pictures, he was making these huge pictures. He just took it further, and he took this into his house. He made it his.
By the time Damari finished his 4th year on the football fields, he realized it was time to make a decision.
I was like, man, I don't know how much my body's going to continue on taking this pounding. Like, maybe this is the end of the road.
You have these NFL dreams, these NFL aspirations, You know, so, and that's what's ingrained in your head. So it's like when it don't happen, a lot of guys, they fold, they go in the tank because like that's all they know.
I wasn't confident in the art world. Like I don't have anybody to look up to. Like where I'm from, you know, you don't find anybody like that. So I'm doing these exhibits and I'm meeting these people and they're telling me these things, different people, different races, shapes and sizes. They're telling me, yo, you need to stick to this.
And through his art, Jones is inspiring the community he calls home.
He shows that there's more to life than just playing sports. I think we really need that because so many people are stuck on certain things, whether it be a rapper or be this, but there's a lot of other things. Who knew that he was going to be an artist of all things?
You know, they relate to him more. We're kids who came from a situation, it's like it was bad, but he didn't turn out a product of his environment. He kind of changed that in a way, but you can still be a good person.
When I think of Damari, I guess I don't think of the athlete, I think of the person that has that drive, that's going to be successful no matter what.
And with his football career now behind him, Jones is all in on his artistic life.
Just working for like the hospital, just doing things like just charity events, going back home, painting murals. The crazy part is I'm just getting started. Like this right now is like, this is game planning for me.
But no matter where he goes, Damari's road will always lead back to Leesburg.
It always feels like home to me. Being in Miami and, you know, you're dealing with all the glitz and the glams and, you know, the great things, the scenery is great, but coming back here has always been that peaceful country town. I feel like, you know, with us being a very small town, the only way to be strong is to come together, you know, and I feel like we're starting to get the image, but, you know, being able to bond and grow together, I mean, it makes us only stronger.
He's probably my #1 inspiration because to see somebody that close as you pushing to go to the next level every time, even when you think he's at the bottom with the injuries he's had and the stuff he's been through in his life, I think for the community, he's one of the, like, if not the #1 inspiration here.